Hi, everyone, and welcome to part 2 of Vivek at the Granite State Indoor Range in Hudson, New Hampshire. That would be Vivek Ramaswamy. I left off when he was talking about AI in part 1. So if you want to go back and see part 1 about everything that happened in the beginning of the rally, I don't know if it would be a rally. It was a Second Amendment town hall. That's what he called it. I left off that he wasn't planning on losing. He was doing this for his kids. And he also said that he believed he would have a Reagan-esque type landslide if he was the nominee. That's something to look forward to if he could do that. One of the first things he said he's going to shut down is the Department of Education. He said 80 billion gone right there. One of his biggest things he talked about is we need to return everybody who's coming over. And that's where he's going to get the money to do it, by getting rid of the Department of Education. There's 80 billion right there to send these people home. If you do not come in through the front door, you need to go home. No more money for sanctuary cities at all. And that this pure just flood of migrants of illegal immigrants must end. He wants to end birthright citizenship for those who do not come over here legally. He also said that I'm just looking at my notes here. When I talked about the Reagan landslide, he said without shenanigans, he would have a Reagan-esque landslide. He believes he would win 45, 50 states, 45, 46 states. He said the key to he is an American first candidate, he said. And he said that Donald Trump is also America first. And he is also. But he said Donald Trump isn't the American first movement, and he isn't the America first movement. We are the American first movement. He talked about how we must bring manufacturing back to this country, and that he will only send troops if it is to defend U.S. interests, like defending Taiwan would be, because of all the semiconductors that we get from them. He thought it was interesting that Newsom was able to clean up San Francisco so quickly for the president of China. In 2 days, boom! The homeless were gone, the streets were clean, all of that was done. He said it can be done. They just don't want it to be done. They want the cities and the streets to be filled with litter and drugs and all of that. They want decaying cities. He said right now we have a 25% recruitment deficit in the armed services, and we know why. Because of the woke agenda that they're pushing right now. What 18, 19-year-old young man wants to go join the army if he's going to have barracks full of trans? He didn't say that. I said that. But that's how I would imagine the average 18-year-old would feel. He says we must have accountability, and that illegals must be returned to their country. And he mostly said that he's sick of losing elections, and that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. And he said what we're doing right now is sort of insane. He does believe that we need to have massive layoffs with the DC swamp. He's talked about it before, that it should be your Social Security. If it's an odd number, you're gone. And 6 months later, if your Social Security is an even number, you're gone. He said in the FBI right now, there's 35,000 people work in the FBI, and 20,000 of them work in the back office. We only have 15 agents. He says we can get rid of the FBI by putting those agents in other agencies that are a little less corrupt, like Border Patrol, the Drug Enforcement Agency, different agencies like that. The air marshals also, he mentioned that. He also does have his talking points. But he doesn't have a canned speech. I thought Chris Christie had much, much more of a canned speech. And also, as you know, with Chris Christie, I mentioned that I thought there were plants in the audience. And I thought that there were people who were there to ask specific questions. And Chris Christie knew what the questions were going to be, and they were all canned responses that he knew. Nobody was throwing him a curveball, so to speak. Now I'm wondering, because this is the first time, I saw Chris Christie, then I saw Vivek, but that was a wild crowd. I saw Vivek at the brewery last. So now I'm starting to wonder if everybody has plants in the crowd. I will say that. I never thought of that before. He said that right now they're writing such broad legislation that it's almost like show me the man and I'll show you the crime. Because legislation has been written that you can almost acquit anybody on anything. And that needs to end. He also says we need to eliminate the overzealous attorney generals in so many states who have their own agenda. And that is mostly, as you know, to attack conservatives and charge them with everything. He also said, of course, the Patriot Act, so much of that needs to be repealed because that is when the true invasion and invasion of our privacy began. And let's face it, we're all being traveled, tracked 24/7. I mean, how many of us will say, oh, so-and-so's going to Punta Cana for Thanksgiving, and the next thing you know, Punta Cana comes up on your news feed, and you're like, oh, I didn't need to know the weather is in Punta Cana, but you say it, and they're listening to us all of the time. He said that New Hampshire is the first in the nation for a reason, and that is because they are the live free or die state. His wife got up and spoke, and I thought what she said was super, super interesting. And what she said was that she has been so enlightened by how so many people are so aware of the issues out there, but the average conservative is too busy working all day to be able to do anything about it. And that we're working so hard, and our country's being taken away from us. And that so many are waking up right now to the problems and going, what happened to my country? I didn't sign on for this. I didn't sign on for this at all. And that was interesting to hear from that perspective, because I do believe that. I'm also going to say he then he went around, he shook hands. I bumped into someone I knew there, and they'd never met Vivek, and they came and saw him because they watched this and they wanted to see him. So I took a picture with them too, said hello to him, said hello to his wife, and they went to the range. Yes, they did. They went to the range. Vivek shot, his wife shot, no idea what they shot, but he came out. And part 2, I'm going to have the picture of him holding up his target. And he was a pretty good shot. I don't know what he was at for feet. One day I'm going to bring over my target. You're going to say, you're a terrible shot. And you know what? I am a terrible shot. I need a lot more practice. I get a little nervous. So they were out there. And then he went into the store and he signed his target. And then he went to the back of the store where all the rifles are, the really, really nice, pretty ones. And he stood in front and he took more questions from people. Actually, I put a little snippet of him talking about the Second Amendment on my Instagram feed at Pickleball and Politics on Instagram. So I did post that over there. And he shook everybody's hand again coming out. stood with, I assume, the owners, took pictures with them in front of that beautiful rifle case. I then went into the restroom after Vivek left, and going into the restroom, there were pictures of Donald Trump Jr. and his target, Lindsey Graham. Don't ask. I would have liked to have been there for the Lindsey Graham shooting. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul, Howie Carr, if you know Howie Carr. I believe Asa Hutchins also. And not Asa Hutchins, Mike Huckabee. Maybe Asa Hutchins too, but anyways, it was Mike Huckabee. I get those two. It's not that I get them mixed up, but I get their names mixed up. And a former governor of Virginia, who I don't remember now, was listed. So there have obviously been other politicians, other conservatives who have dropped by and gone to the Granite State Indoor Range. They were a busy, busy range. There were a lot of people there. And it was an exciting day. I did see Vivek again, everybody. I had like 5 people message me on my comments, and they were like, you're going to go see him again. You're going to go see him again. And I did. I plan on right now, anybody that I can get to go see, even if I've seen them again, I'm going to go see them. And I believe that last week, before the primary, after the Iowa caucus, before the New Hampshire primary, I'm probably going to be there every single day. So that week after Iowa, before New Hampshire, you'll probably be getting a new podcast every single day, and it's going to be exciting. Okay. I end every episode with the dink of the day, and I don't have one. I just don't. I met a lot of nice people. I always meet nice people at these rallies. I love going to them. I love being with like-minded people. I will say that there were 2 people who asked the person with them, what did you think? And one fellow said, he's really, really smart. And actually, the person I saw there also said, wow, he's really smart. And then I didn't ask, somebody else asked the guy beside me, what did you think of him? And he said, I really, really like him, but I'm still voting for Donald Trump. So I thought that was interesting what other people were saying after they saw Vivek. And I like him. I do. What can I say? If I didn't vote for Trump, I'd vote for Vivek Ramaswamy. None of the others, trust me. Okay, until next time, thanks for joining me on Pickleball and Politics. And you can reach me on Getter at Pickleball and Politics, on Instagram at Pickleball and Politics, on Twitter at Pickle and Paul. Go to my website, pickleballandpolitics.com, or leave me a message on my YouTube channel. I love talking to you. Pickleball and Politics. Okay, until next time, I'll see you soon.